Good evening, all. Happy Sunday, and welcome to the Bobby Moore Stand. I'm Gary. He's Chris, as usual. We always are. I've noticed that. Chris, how's your weekend been?
Yeah, it's been all right, mate. It's been all right. I actually enjoyed yesterday. It was nice. It was a bit of a change to go to the game with my daughter and my missus. So that was quite interesting. Enjoyed the second half.
I'm sure we'll come to that. Chris.
I think with regards to today, I was watching the Manchester derby for about 10 minutes, and then next thing I know, I wake up and it's the 89th minute. So it was a really dull game, I think. A bit of a chilled one.
0-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's crap, mate. From what I saw for the first 10-15, it was crap. So I fell asleep and had a bit of a chilled one today, mate. How about you?
Yeah. I've had a really productive weekend, actually. Really, really good. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed the football in the end. But I got a lot done. I jet washed. I mentioned this on the show yesterday. Jet washed my garden on Friday night. That's all been tidied up now. I've ordered 400 quid of stuff to do the you know the bit in between the paving stones, right? All the pointing just fell away, so I just get weeds through the paving stones. So I've just ordered this super stuff that so process now. Got to jet wash it again, get rid of the last of the weeds. Got to weed kill it with this super strength shit that I've got, and then I've got to put this stuff down, this really good stuff that I've got to go between the stones, and then it'll be job done forever. I'll never see another weed. Honestly,
forever. I don't think it'll be forever, mate. I know what you're talking about. I've done the same thing before, and it's not forever. It comes back. It does come back.
But it was a nice sunny day, and I fixed the doorbell today because I've got a flashy doorbell, and one of these ubiquity ones. It's good. You've got a camera in it and stuff like that. But done that, and had a really productive day, and sat down, and even found time to nip down the caravan because Matt's down the caravan at the moment. Bodger, he's in the chat. That's a good Wi-Fi is. He can be a moderator on the, but he's run out of gas at the moment, sadly. But there you go. That's enough of Matt's problems. Let's talk about West Ham. Good evening, all you lovely viewers, and good evening, everybody in the chat. I think universally, Chris, that performance yesterday was received in a positive light. I think what we saw in the first half was all too depressing. In fact, I was in the posh seats, with Paul, and first half just passed us by. It was ridiculous. I mean, the handling, the goalkeeping error by Areola, not the first one this season, and he's a bloke of contradictions, isn't he? Because he makes the most outstanding saves, but then he costs you goals as well.
Yeah, he does. He pulls off some worldies sometimes, but that one, I mean, as you know where I sit. It was literally right in front of me, and I couldn't quite believe. I mean, really, he's either got to be pushing it out to the sides or basically holding it. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it hit someone said it hit his knee, but to me, it looked like a dead easy save. I don't know. I don't know how the hell he didn't, parry that one away to his left out of danger, or just basically collect it, because even the shot wasn't hit with a lot of venom. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't particularly hard.
He was screwing up left, right, and centre under Lopetegui, and then he put Fabianski in, and then he'd screw up, and then he put Areola back in, wouldn't he? That's what happened. And he has been largely good of late, but he's always very, very suspect in his box. And I even, we talk about the second half, I even give him a hand in that second goal as well. But that first goal, there's no excuse for that. That is amateurish. You can see, Evan Nilsson is right in front of him. And that is the last place, I think you said this, you want to parry the ball. I know he tried to catch it, so it's probably a mistake. He didn't mean to parry it there. But if you're going to try and catch it, you really have to catch it.
Yeah.
And if there's no middle ground with that sort of stuff, is there? There's no room for nuance, right? If it's, I don't know, it's a judgment call.
That's basic stuff, Gal. That kind of save is basic stuff. When you watch goalkeepers warming up right before the game, at training grounds, whatever, those kind of things they deal with all of the time. That should be bread and butter. That should not be something where there's an ounce of kind of danger thinking, do you know what? He should be collecting that. But the problem here is that does happen too often. Like you said, he does pull off some world-class saves sometimes. He does. I mean, the other week when he had a worldie the other week, didn't he? But it's little things like that is kind of, it is actually unacceptable at this level. It is, because professional goalkeepers playing in the Premier League should not be making mistakes like that. It's really
the sort of thing that Roberto used to do, right? And it is elementary. He gets paid He gets paid a lot of money. Areola. He's got to do better than that. That's unacceptable. I'd fine him a week's wages, 2 weeks' wages.
Well, I mean, it's not doing his job properly, is it?
He's got one job to do. He ain't done it well, has he?
Nah, he's done it bloody poorly, to be fair. And you mentioned the second goal. I mean,
Well, let's talk about the formation before we move on to the second half, right? So, what did you think of the formation?
I'm glad to see 4 at the back. Definitely, that pleased me. What was it, like a 4-2-3-1 type of formation, wasn't it? Basically,
sort of thing. Yeah.
So I think with regards to the defence, yeah, I mean, I was fine with that. Aside from Scholes, and I did say this, I'm not just jumping on his back because I don't think he had the greatest game, but you know what? It's expected though. He's a young kid. He's still, finding his feet in the Premier League. So I give him a pass on that. But I didn't want to start him yesterday, as I said to you when we did the live yesterday morning. I wanted Emerson to play there. So aside from Scholes, I think I was quite happy with the back 4. Midfield, look, I don't think James Ward-Prowse should have started. I said that to you the other day. I wouldn't have started him. I wouldn't have played Bowen up front, mate, because he was anonymous up front in the first half.
Yeah.
So no, in terms, and we'll come on to obviously second half and everything else, and the changes that the subsequent changes that happened during the game. But in terms of starting lineup, not ideal. But formation-wise, probably better. Just the personnel was a little bit wrong for me, in truth.
What the bloody hell was happening here? That's better. What
are you on about?
I had my camera on mirror for some reason. I don't know. I was coming out arse about face. I couldn't work out why Guilherme was on my left rather than my right. Weird.
It's still the same from what I can see, mate. So I don't know what you've done.
Well, it's not. Look, I'll show you. Look. Unless it just mirrors to me. It might just
mirrors to you, mate. It just mirrors to you.
I can look the same. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, look, weird, disconcerting. So, yeah, I think the selection was quite predictable. I think Ward-Prowse was always going to play. And it turned out that of the 3 in the middle, he wasn't the weakest link for a change. I mean, in the first half, he didn't do much, and nor did Souček was awful. Alvarez, he had like a good 20 minutes, I think, Alvarez, and then he just started chasing shadows. They were high energy, weren't they, in that press, Bournemouth, and I think we coped with it quite well by saturating them. Fair, quite a lot, but I think when they started to get some space, especially after they took the lead with that goal, the bar shortly after, didn't they?
Yeah,
and and that was after almost scoring in the first minute.
Yeah, they were definitely better than us in the first half. I think if I kind of go back, and I haven't really been thinking about the game loads, in truth, apart from now, but I think from what I can recall, the first sort of 5-10 minutes, not that it's much, I thought we kind of looked all right, to be honest with you. We're passing it around okay, bit of zip. I think then after that, Bournemouth just sort of took control of the game, and we showed kind of, as always, we showed no kind of potency up front. I think again we were probably a little bit higher in terms of possession stats, I would say, in the first half, but it was just the typical thing of passing backward sideways with nothing going further forward. And again, I kind of attribute that to perhaps the personnel. I do. I think Bournemouth really kind of took control. They definitely looked a little bit more dangerous. They kind of opened us up on a few occasions. I do think we get opened up a bit too easy, Gal. We do. That's a little bit concerning. It is, particularly through the middle of the park as well. It was happening quite frequently. But then obviously, they took the lead, and I think even though it was a mistake by Areola, I'd say deservedly so, because they were definitely the better team in the first half. But second half, it was certainly a whole lot better.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just thought that we came out the second half, and I agree with what you said about Scholes, by the way. I think he's been quite dodgy for a few games. I think when we were settled in a back 3 with Cresswell sitting next to him, and he was playing with a very settled defence of Todibo and Kilman. He was like surrounded by experienced players, and they were definitely taking a keen interest in him when he first got in the team and helping him out and going the extra yard. They're doing the sort of thing that you'd expect senior pros to do, right? And then he kind of got to the stage where he was looking pretty good. And then due to injuries and stuff like that, some different players got rested or got injured, and things got shifted around. And he hasn't coped, I don't think, with the change. I think the first system he was fine with. But when things started changing around, he started to look a little bit unreliable. And I think he was beaten quite a few times yesterday. Nutmegged as well.
I think what I did notice with Skulls is that I think he almost couldn't keep up with the pace of what was going on around him. You know, he'd have the the wingers were running behind him. He couldn't quite keep up with stuff, and I think that's just. And again, he's certainly not digging him out because he's a young player. You expect it. You know, he's not going to just suddenly come in and. But I think. It's going to take him time to get used to that. It will definitely take him time to get used to that, to play in that kind of left back position and come up against fast pacey wingers. Obviously, he had that yesterday with Bournemouth. They've got a lot of pace and power, in the final third with their front three. So I think he found that a bit tricky, which of no real coincidence. He got hooked in there at half time. I think it was the right decision to make. As it was with some of the other substitutions as well that we made.
He's also more of a wing back than a full back, I think.
I think you're right, but I don't know yet because I've not seen enough of him, Gal. I know he's played left midfield before, for the under 23s and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I need to see more of him in both of those positions before I can really sort of ascertain whether or not he's a better left wing back or a left full back. I don't know. It's a truth. I don't. I know he's got the ability to ping it across, although he hasn't really been doing that of late. But I know that he can put it across because we've seen him do it. So. I don't know. I think only time will tell with regards to what will be his best position and where he's going to become most effective. Yeah,
no, for sure. But Emerson was definitely an upgrade in the second half, and but nonetheless, it didn't really. The game was still very bland and sort of what we expected it to be until the big changes came, and that was with Soler and the mighty Niclas Fullkrug.
Right, mate. Fullkrug, I thought, was brilliant yesterday. I don't want to get overly excited, but I thought he was exceptional because maybe it's because he just showed us something that we haven't had and we've been lacking for so long now.
I think he was. I don't think it was that, Chris. I think he was genuinely very, very good.
Well, he was working his socks off, Gal. He was really working his socks off. He was physically, he was really imposing, and I think he caused their centre halves all kinds of problems. His hold up play was really good. His movement off the ball, his movement with the ball, bringing other players into play. I thought he was exactly what we've been crying out for in games of late where we've had no focal point up front. And I think now it's a no-brainer that you got to start him. You've got to start him in games because if you don't, you get a first half like we did against Bournemouth in most games. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
play
definitely.
him up front. I think he's he was excellent yesterday. I was really impressed by him. Really impressed by him.
But what do you do though? Because Potter's comments after the game suggested that he's not ready to start yet, and I think some of that might be trying to protect him from an injury. Because we'll be the first to jump on Potter's back if he starts him. It's a really fast game, like for instance Liverpool next week. Where he'll be running his socks off and suddenly he pulls up, he's got another fucking groin or hamstring or something like that, right?
Yeah.
We'll be having to go at Potter for rushing him back, and so it's like a lose-lose situation for him. And also, I don't think you're going to win that. I don't think we're going to win that game at Liverpool or get a draw. I think it's a dead rubber for us. So, I don't see the point in rushing him back for that one. I'd just give him maybe even a few more minutes. But also, Premier League is high pace, no matter who you play against, isn't it? And so when those players come out of the tunnel and the whistle goes, it's generally quite fast early in the game. Second half, people have they've used up a bit of their energy reserves and they're not going at it quite so much. So he seemed to come into the game and look perfectly paced for it at that point, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. I don't know about the whole fitness thing with Fullkrug. I know that he's been toiled with injuries since he's been at West Ham. I know his injury record prior to being at West Ham wasn't the greatest and everything else. So, but yeah, I don't know what his level of fitness at the moment. All I can say is that from what I saw in the second half, he looked absolutely fine. He looked absolutely fine. So I just don't know, mate. I really, really don't know. But I don't think that. I think we should be starting him. And if we're not starting him, I think we need to start with a recognised striker. We have to, because it doesn't work with Bowen up front, mate. It just does not work.
I know it doesn't. But, if it's one of those things where we can play a bit better than we did, what I would do is I would not play Kudus on the right and Bowen in the middle. That's like having two right wingers. Right, I would keep to playing. I'd rather play Paqueta up front. You know, if you're going to do that, I'd rather play Paqueta up front. Even, you know, the dead body that was Thomas Souček, you just play him up front to have a presence up front. You know what I mean? Yeah. You might as well do something with him that ain't sticking him in central midfield to embarrass himself.
So you'd rule out playing Ferguson then?
Not necessarily, but to be honest, he's not inspired me so far, and I'm not a big fan. Should we have a look what Fullkrug had to say after the game?
I suppose when we're 1-0 down, we'd be happy with a draw, but when we're 2-1 up, we're disappointed with one.
Yeah, I feel more disappointed than happy. I think it was a very strong mindset we had on the pitch, good mentality. We came back, we swapped the game, and we created still good chances when we were 2-1 up. And yeah, we was a little bit unlucky in that situations, and then we conceded 2 easy goal for me. It's a free kick on the halfway line, and it's a little bit stupid. So we have to try to bring these details in perfect conditions that we don't concede goals like that. And but still at the end, we try to push. We try to make the 3rd goal, and we had the chances again, but we're a little bit unlucky. And that's why I feel disappointed. Would be a nice, perfect comeback at home if we won the game.
That must have felt so good off your head after so many months to feel it off your head and then seeing it in the net.
What's a header?
Oh, mate, power.
Yeah, it's not about me, but I'm very happy about that I could score in front of our crowd. I was waiting for that moment now 8 months. I think 8 months to score here in the stadium, and it was not the best season for me. I was injured a lot of times, and long time out, and I was very happy today to feel the love from the crowd, from our supporters, and was very happy about it.
So I really like the way he speaks, don't you? I mean, I'm a bit biased because I spent quite a long time working in Germany, right? And you know, it's one of those things where I've kind of grown used to the rhythm of the way Germans speak English, right?
Yeah.
And I really like it. They're much more. They're very, very articulate, and his English is perfect, isn't it? It's absolutely perfect.
Mate, I was impressed with him when he signed for West Ham. I thought his interview was really good, really, really good. Look, you know, going back to, and I'm thinking about this now, right? I would start him, regardless of this fitness thing. I would start him because, look, how much more of the season we got left to play? Let's kind of look at it this way. We look at pretty much this season as basically it's a dead season for us now. There's nothing really that we can achieve that's going to be of any kind of, you know, it's going to have no impact to us whatsoever. It really won't. Only to Sullivan if we move up a couple of spaces. So I would play him. Yeah, there's a danger of him being injured, but fuck it. You know what? Who cares? Because as far as I'm concerned, the season's dead, mate. He probably will go next season anyway. Just play him. I think he's going to be a player.
Will he though? Imagine if he, because you got to remember, a lot of people want the fast striker. I do too, and I think even if he stays, we need another striker. I think we need 2 strikers, but he'll be good as a pair. You know, if we can get someone else as well, someone that is fast, so as we've got the options, that'll be, I think, really good. But I'm not in a. I've always, you know, like a broken record, he is a German international, current German international. He played in the Champions League final last year. He was never going to be shit. You know, the fans loved him because of his work rate. So we will love him because that is a West Ham thing, right? We love players who work hard, work their socks off and get stuck in, right? Yeah. And what you got to remember back is, you know, you look at Harry Kane. He does fuck all in the game and suddenly he gets on the end of something. You remember Alan Shearer done fuck all in the game and he bashed a goal. That was a Shearer-style goal yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a great header. That.
Yeah,
it was a great header. I mean, I thought, he was great yesterday. He was kind of like a typical sort of number 9 target man for us. You know, he was. But yeah, again, go back to what I said, Gal. I would play him because if we were to have this conversation, I don't know, December or January, I'd probably be like, oh no, you know, we need to be a bit cautious. But I mean, come on, you know, we're in April now. There's not a whole heap of the season left to play. Just play the guy.
What I'll say is he's 32 years old. He knows his body. He knows what he's recovered from. If he says he's ready to start, I don't think he's going to be one of these that says he's ready to start if he's not, right? So when he's ready to start, I think he's got to be picked. He's got to be picked and play 90 minutes.
And I think he's going to be chomping at the bit now, Gal, to get a bit of form going as well, because he's scored his first home goal for us now. What has he got? He's got 2 goals now, right? So I think he's going to want to end the season on a high because, as he said so many times in interviews, particularly with the German press, is that he thinks his season's been a disaster. So there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be wanting to end the season on a real high. The only way he's going to do that, Gal, is if we start him in games and not just playing him as a sub. I think he needs to start games. And look, if he's wearing out after, I don't know, 65 minutes or something, take him off, put someone else up. You know,
yeah. Epic says you can't have slow players in the Premier League. I mean, yeah, look, I agree, but a striker. How many rapid strikers are there out there? I mean, really rapid strikers. I mean, if you look at Evan Nilsson is not the fastest thing on 2 feet, but I wouldn't mind having him in my side, to be honest. I think he's a bloody good player. Paqueta's not fast. You know, these are players that have got a little burst of pace when it matters. They're not going to beat someone. They're not sprinters. They're not going to beat someone over 100 meters, but they've got a little burst of pace and they've got anticipation, because anticipation and experience is worth a couple of yards if you're that intelligent. And I think he is. When you look at some of the stuff he was doing yesterday, and that is another thing as well, what Obsidian says here, winner's mentality. Yes, 100%. You could hear him talking now. I want him to be disappointed with not winning that game, because Guilherme, who done another good cameo, he can't start games, surely, but he did another good cameo. That's why his light's back on. I hope he's raised again. That was a lovely little run and 1-2 with Paqueta, deliciously timed weighted ball from Paqueta, and that was he should have cut it back, but he saw the glory, didn't he? He saw the glory and he went for it. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's just young and naive and being naive. I think I think he's probably so desperate to kind of put his mark on a game and score a goal. But I think in general, based on his performance when he came on, I thought he was really good. I mean, he nutmegged, didn't he? He nutmegged their fullback as well. He did, it was good to see that, actually, because I'm still in two minds about him whether or not he's up to the pace to be a Premier League player. I don't know yet. But based off of yesterday, I thought he did a decent job. So you've got to give him more minutes now moving forward.
Yeah, Kulchev. Listen, he wouldn't have been my choice. He definitely wouldn't have been my choice. But he is our player now, whether we like it or not. He's our player, and we've got to make the most of every player that we've got, haven't we?
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't have that many options to rely on, do we? At the moment, we don't really. We don't, particularly in the forward positions. What with Somerville out, what with the likes of Kudus, who's been off form all season. I can't believe he's only scored 3 goals this season, Gal. That's so bad, isn't it? 3 goals for Kudus. It's
awful. I mean, it was good today the way he lofted that ball in for Bowen. Let's talk about that, because what a pinpoint header that was.
It's funny because if you look at those 2 goals, I mean, without question, Fullkrug's header was power. Love headers like that. It's probably a bit of a throwback to me when I see someone powering in a header like that. But Bowen's header technically was a harder one. The way he kind of spun back and kind of got that into the corner, I thought it was a cracking header. Great cross from Kudus, but that's all he did, though, Gav. There wasn't really much else Kudus did do in that game for me.
Well, he gave away, and that was right in front of me over in the posh seats. That push that he did over there was right in front of the referee. It was ridiculous. And that it wasn't that didn't directly lead to the goal, but the follow-up did. The follow-up did. When it came out and they rebuilt, that's what the follow-up led to the goal. So that was you can do without stuff like that, right? I don't know about Razor, can get something at Anfield. I mean, they're going to be angry now after that because they want to sew up the league, don't they? They've almost sewn it up. Arsenal's falling away, aren't they?
It's theirs for the taking, but I think the way they'll see this game this weekend is win the league. It's done, job done. So I don't come on, mate. I mean, my record at Anfield is absolutely atrocious. I'm not going back there.
Don't you go there,
mate? It makes no difference if I go there or not, mate. We're not going to get. We've had one win in nearly 60 years now, 58 years or something stupid. So I don't expect us to get anything out of that game. Apart from, like I say all the time, Gal, is 100% effort and work rate and fighting for the badge. That's all I expect to see. And hence the reason why I say stick Fullkrug up front, because that will give us that kind of only outlet to potentially score a goal. I don't see us doing it any other way if we play with Bowen and Kudus in the forward positions. I just don't see it. Not at all. Particularly if we keep that same midfield again. Because actually, I'm not the biggest fan of Carlos Soler, but he came on and for me, he kind of get the ball ticking over a bit better than James Ward-Prowse did. He looked better to me yesterday than he had been in more recent weeks.
Because it actually works. When we're pushing forward and we're on the front foot, he's actually he does some really good stuff with Paqueta. I mean, that beautiful move that we played, where the move that eventually led to the goal because it brought us to corner. That was a delicious move. I mean, it was from Soler, it was onto Fullkrug, massive chest down from Fullkrug, echoed around the ground. And then I think it was the furthest chest this season, if I'm not wrong. I need to check the stats on that. Right. And then delicious little chip over the top by Paqueta to Bowen, wasn't it? Who tried to play someone in and it went out for a corner. And then the corner was that's what led to all the excitement. And when that first goal went in, the atmosphere lifted in that ground because it felt like we had some hope. Because no fucking around with that goal. It was bosh, right? It was like as if someone took the game by the scruff of the neck. It's like, right, let's sort this shit out.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It was quite like I said before, it was quite an emphatic header, wasn't it? It meant something. You could feel it. So no, it definitely lifted the crowd. I think then suddenly, for me, I think it felt like we were the team on the up. You know, like we were the team. If any team was going to win it, then I thought it would have been us. And obviously we went 2-1 up. But it did. There's another moment as well with Carlos Soler where I don't know if it would have been on my left-hand side, so the right-hand side of the pitch.
Oh yeah.
And he come bombing down the wing. He's got. I don't know if it's because he's going toe-to-toe against slow players here, but he looks like he's got a bit of pace about him. Do you remember the Chelsea game?
Chelsea,
yeah. We were watching that. We were talking to each other. Bloody hell, he's just gone round like done a Gareth Bale, but he's done something quite similar. On yesterday as well. I'm not saying he's an answer for us at all, but I thought that, you know, for next season at least. But I think certainly if we're playing against Liverpool, I wouldn't mind getting him in there instead of Ward-Prowse because I just don't know what he offers, mate. I don't. I don't.
This is Mark Palmer. You've been chatting to Mark at the game, have you, Chris?
Yeah, no. Do you know what? I started that because cheers, Mark. It's good to talk to you as well because Mark, like you, Gal, he's been a season ticket holder on the Bobby Moore stand for, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but did you say 38 years or something? So he's been going he's not up to your 50 yet.
Well, no.
Well.
I ain't been at the Bobby Moore stand for 50. It sounds like he's had the season tickets in the Bobby Moore stand since it was built, like I have. Yeah, confirm that in the chat, Mark. Confirm that in the chat.
Yeah.
There can't be many of us that have done that. No wins at Anfield, Fraser. Yeah, no wins at Anfield. Least of all us. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You can't see we're going round and round again. Also, Fullkrug performs. Bundesliga clubs will want him if he produces because but they're not going to want to pay for him. And this is the thing, right? We're a Premier League side. We've got a chance of moving on if we pay for a good first choice striker. I'm not suggesting Fullkrug is the first choice, but you've got to have at least two good striking options, haven't you? And they've got definitely to be ideally slightly different. Yeah.
Without doubt. I mean, really, I want three strikers. Maybe I'm being greedy here, but no, being West Ham, I mean, it'd be good just to have one out and out top level striker, wouldn't it? It would be great to have that.
So why should we let him go to play second fiddle at a Bundesliga club and they'll only give us, they want him on loan. They want to pay low, so what I hope he does with the rest of this season, it's probably important he does get some starts when he's ready. If that's next week, great. But get some starts, really make an impact because I haven't even looked at the stats, but you just know the impact that he's made in terms of assists that haven't come off, as well as assists that have come off, as well as goals. He's scored as many goals as Kudus. He's only played about 10 minutes of football, hasn't
he? Yes. With regards to Kudus, do you think it's a lack of effort, or do you just think that he's having a torrid time? Because I have been thinking about this because he is a top player. There's no doubt about that. A lot of the things that he's trying to do that he did last season aren't coming off. There's a lot of things that are just not going his way. Okay. And a lot of the fans are getting on his back. I'd get on his back as well, right? I'm not going to deny that. But you do get players that do genuinely go out of form. No matter what they do, they just cannot get to the levels that they're typically accustomed of. I mean, you think about it. I mean, like we've seen it with, and I know Kudus isn't a striker. I'm just comparing an example. If you look at, say, Alan Shearer before the Euro 96, right? He was in a torrid run of form. And then suddenly, bang, he started scoring loads of goals in the Euros. You always get players that no matter what level, if they're top level players, they do go out of form sometimes. So it does make you wonder because, even Graham Potter, I mean, he waxes lyrical about Kudus. He says that he's brilliant in training. It's just something's not working for him at West Ham. Could it be due to tactical changes? I don't know. But I don't know if we should be ruling him out so much at this moment, right? I expect a hell of a lot more from him. I'm very disappointed by the fact he's got 3 goals. But
I don't think we're going to get the money that we expect for him playing like he's playing. I mean, let's just read this from Jason, right? It says, with Liverpool next Sunday, we won't get out of it, especially when Fulham beat them 3-2. And with Wolves playing Spurs, also next Sunday, we will end up 17th, full from bottom, and not a good omen for next season. I don't think it's an omen at all, to be honest, Jason. I don't think where we are at this point of the season has any impact, any bearing on where we're going to be next year. I mean, so what? I don't get that point. I don't get the point. We're fifth from bottom at the moment. I mean, it's one worse, and then we play Southampton, so we'll probably go back to fifth again. You know, is what it is. 17th. I don't really care where we finish this year. All the hopes of pushing up the table and stuff like that, they're gone, aren't they? They're gone.
I'm with you on that. I don't really care about position.
Yeah.
I just care about performance.
Well,
And even if we lose games, but we're working hard and you can see the effort on the pitch, and I'm more than happy with that, Gal. I am.
What I was so happy with yesterday was the first half was shit, and me and Paul went in the lounge at half time. I had a cup of coffee, didn't even have a beer, just had a cup of coffee and a packet of crisps, sat there and chatted about it. And honestly, it was quite a morose sort of little chat we had. It was just about our football's lost it and everything else. And we came out second half. As soon as Soler and Fullkrug came onto the pitch, I was totally engaged until I left that ground. And that is what I want out of football.
Yeah.
So it wasn't 90 minutes. It wasn't 90 minutes. It was about half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. But for that period of time, it was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good.
It was, but I think the frustration here is, though, Gal, if we would have started with that lineup as opposed to making those changes at half time, which Potter seems to be doing quite frequently, is he doesn't start with the right lineup, and then he realises he's made a mistake and changed at half time. And again, maybe fitness, whatever, with certain players. But it is a bit frustrating because you do wonder, what if we would have played that lineup for the full 90 minutes? Would we have won that game yesterday? You know,
or would it have started off at 100 mile an hour and Fullkrug had pulled up with an injury?
Well,
for God's sake, if he's saying,
why play JWP though, Gal? Why are we playing James Ward-Prowse?
But Chris, no, I don't know. I'm only talking about Fullkrug. If he's saying, I don't for the life of me why Soler ain't got more game time, because again, going back to the Chelsea game, he was actually starting to look like a player. And all right, he had a couple of sort of off games, I suppose, but at the same time, especially the fuck up against Palace and everything, I think that put him in Potter's bad books. But
hold up a second. Ward-Prowse last game, okay, he was absolutely woeful against Wolves. Honestly, it was horrific. So I'm so stunned that he even got anywhere near to that team, let alone first 11 on Saturday. I was kind of like, why is he playing again? Like, you know, I don't want him playing with Souček. I think we need a different option with Souček. I'd still play Souček. I know he was quiet yesterday, but we know what he does bring to West Ham. He has the ability to knock in a goal every now and again, right? So he's a joint up goal scorer, mate, you know? So it's just Ward-Prowse. I don't get it. I don't get it. Unless I'm missing something here.
No, no. I mean, the reason he was kept on the pitch, I guess, was to take set pieces. So you could argue it worked because he took a set piece and he was taking good set pieces yesterday, to be fair. He weren't doing much else right, but he was taking a good set piece.
Well, that was his ad, wasn't it? His corner. The corner that he set up Fullkrug with. That's it.
But then the other night, his corners were shit. Yeah, so it's really intermittent, isn't it? Really intermittent. He was hitting the first man and doing short corners the other night. I just couldn't get it. Didn't get it. And when you look at the other one as well, I think you know, this is Steve Bell. He's saying disaster of a season. Yeah, totally. It's been absolute crap. But let's recount why that disaster has actually happened, because it ain't. All right, just lately, there's been a couple of games like the one I moaned about last time, which is Potter's fault. But the fact this season's been shit is not Potter's fault. Let's get this right. It is Sullivan's fault.
Yeah.
Sullivan put Lopetegui in. Sullivan left Lopetegui there too long. Sullivan stopped fucking Potter buying any players in the transfer window. You know, left it as late as he possibly fucking could to avoid spending money. He's come into an injury crisis. He'd done all right, and it took 9 games for people to get on his back, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think I really got on his back the other night. What I did was I sort of said, cracks are starting to appear. This ain't right. And I think I'm not saying I'm delighted with him. Not one game don't change it for me, or one part of a game don't change it for me. But what it did show us was he does have some idea how to attack.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the interview with him before the game. He was talking about going out and attacking teams. Well, we certainly weren't doing that in the first half yesterday, but second half, we were doing a bit more. But I don't blame Potter either. I just kind of feel that I don't know. My frustration is just I'm just incredibly frustrated with this season, in truth. And as you're absolutely right, by the way, in terms of it all falling back on Sullivan. Of course it does.
Yeah.
You know, he's the man at the top of the tree, and he's just making bad decision after bad decision. So,
yeah.
you know, the Lopetegui one was just an absolute disaster. We know that. And I think he just held off taking Potter to the point of where he didn't even have enough time to make a mark in the transfer window. He didn't. He had no time at all, did he?
No, he didn't. And our defence is still a worry, says Dougie. Yeah, look, I mean, what happened yesterday was that goal, I think, came about for a few bits of, first of all, the Kudus push, the first goal, and then secondly, Scholes got nutmeg just before the goal. We were weak down that side, and it was getting exposed by the geezer. Woody, he had his hair in bunches, didn't he? In a bunch at the back. He started running at Emerson, got no change out of him second half. But then you look at Kilman, you know, for the chance early on where the ball went wide, you know, the header within the first couple of minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
That was a guy, he beat Kilman. Kilman just completely misjudged flight ball. And if you look at the equaliser, again, Kilman played them all on side for a start. He was the one who didn't hold the line. He must do better than that. That is least you expect from a Premier League footballer, especially when it costs that much. But he also was beaten in the air. Again, he's not dominant in the air. He really isn't. And I think that was the attraction from people playing Mavropanos, who is dominant in the air. Yeah.
Did you hear the boos that he got when Mavropanos came on for Todibo?
No, I didn't.
He was getting booed, mate. He was getting he was where I was sat or stood.
You know,
people weren't happy.
I think people are always looking for someone to boo. You know what I mean? To me, that's stupid, because I don't agree when you're in a football ground, you got football players doing their best, whether they're shit or not, they're doing their best.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, mate. I mean, look, I'm all open to booing him after the game if he's had a shocker, but not whilst he's actually playing. No, I agree with you, because that's not going to help anyone, is it? It's totally counterproductive.
No, I totally agree. At the end of the game, fill your boots, boo them off. That's fine. But, you know, I didn't see the point, because we were playing all right. You know? As soon as we can put this season behind us, the better. Yes, apps 100%. I said that a few weeks ago. Can't wait for it to end. But if we can have a few pleasant afternoons out to kind of make us forget that this season, well, I'm never going to forget this season. It's like been shit. I feel mugged off, to be honest. But it makes it so much sweeter when you see a little bit of attacking football. I think, as we said the other day, this board again, right? They must give themselves a big fucking. I'll come to that in a minute, Randy. They must give themselves a big fucking pat on the back, because they've done so well. The fucking idiots. They could have taken the piss out of us for as long as they wanted, as many seasons as they wanted. You know, you don't go to bed, DG, and all that shit. You know, making out they're buying players, sell season tickets. We would have stuck it, right? It would have been fine, because it was Upton Park. At least we had Upton Park, and we've got plenty of shit at Upton Park there over the years. Let's not fool ourselves, right? But we always went back because it was Upton Park. And now, what you've got here is you've got a ground that no one likes, and so it's kind of the opposite way round, because it's really important what goes on the pitch. Yeah, it's really important, more than ever before. And as soon as you take that away, you've got a team that you can't relate to. You've got a stadium you can't relate to. And what else is there? So people just walk away. And there's a lot of people, there's quite a few I know, who are not renewing. Not like me and you, Chris. Mate. Stupid like me and you.
I mean, look, it's in your blood, right? I mean, for a lot of people, I totally respect why they wouldn't want to renew based off of the performances and what's been good. It's not just even the performances; it's everything about West Ham, the ownership, everything, right? I totally respect and get it. I'm in that kind of camp where I'll always do it and I'll always renew, because it's just a thing, you know. And you know, each to their own. I think I'm kind of by default doing it also because of my boy. You know, as long as he wants to go, it's like a bonding thing, you know, father-son thing. So I don't think I'll ever want to lose that. But I totally get it. And you're right, though, because I think it is solely about the football, because the ground is pathetic. I was watching a video actually on social media, I think it might have been on TikTok or something, of a Bournemouth fan going to the game yesterday. And he was kind of, is the London Stadium as bad as people really say it is? He done a bit of review on it, and he come away saying it's absolutely fucking, it's horrific, right? Yeah. And I commented, I said, mate, tell us something we don't know. We fucking know this, right? There's not one West Ham fan out there that would say, wanted to leave Upton Park for this shit. If we knew what we were signing up for, there's no way we would have accepted that. But it's little things as well, though, Gal, because you talk about the football being important. Okay, of course it is. When we're at Upton Park, you know, you had the surroundings, the atmosphere, you know, all the pubs, the pie and mash, all this kind of stuff, right? The stuff that we love.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you go to a game and like I remember near the beginning of the season, you've got a fucking Peppa Pig walking on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And this is the bullshit that I have no interest in that. I went to the club shop yesterday because Lily was with me. I wanted to get her a West Ham shirt. Went in there and they've got loads of Peppa Pig merchandise in there. Have you seen? I couldn't believe it. I said, what the fuck?
What have you got against Peppa Pig, for fuck's sake, Chris?
I'm not having it, mate. Actually,
Daddy Pig. She's actually pregnant, Mummy Pig now. You know that. Mummy Pig is pregnant by Daddy Pig. They've been getting up to no good.
It's like Bodger in your caravan, mate.
One of the episodes, apparently, Mummy Pig has an extra as a thingy to scan, and they see a little tiny pig in the stomach. It's like, how did that get there?
Yeah. By the way, no reference to pigs there when I was saying Bodger. I said just about getting up to no good. Yeah.
Daddy Pig's got
just to clarify, saying really bad. Didn't mean that, Matt.
Daddy Pig's been up to no good. He's had some good nights.
I don't. This is the stuff that I don't really get, and the crap that you see at half time sometimes with that Chris fella that jumps on the pitch and
fuck that! That can just fuck itself. All that stuff. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like those silly games that they play at half time. The pointless games. No.
I know.
It is not a variety show. It is football, right? And
sorry, Matt.
There's no secret to getting an atmosphere at West Ham in that ground. There's no secret. You saw in the second half how that crowd, that dormant, quiet crowd that you can hear a pin drop for, up until Fullkrug and Soler came on. Suddenly it lifted and there was singing again. That's what it takes. So once again, if it's another reason not to go because there's no fucking atmosphere, another reason to put something entertaining on a pitch. I know I'm going 360 on this, right? But
it's fine. I'm just laughing at this comment here. Did Bodger meet Marco Boogers at the campsite?
Yeah, he did. He's in the caravan next door. Chris doing an interview with him soon.
Do you know what? Talking of atmosphere, Gal, actually, what did really make me laugh yesterday, because where I sit, that we know wherever you sit at London Stadium, there's not really an atmosphere. No. But probably around about 10 feet to my right, there was some West Ham fans. They weren't tourists. They were West Ham fans, and I don't think they go to games much. But bless them, they were singing away for loads of that game, and like a few of us were looking around at each other and like, fucking hell, they obviously don't. They ain't been here much, have they, recently? Yeah, they ain't been here much recently, have they? Because if they would have been kind of used to the crap that we've been served up this season, there's no way you'd be singing like that. And like, I get it. It's really weird though, because when I'm at away games, I do not stop singing. I love singing, of course I do.
Yeah,
it's one of them ones where
the away fans are brilliant, though, Chris. The away fans are brilliant.
You're so conscious. If you start singing, you just like silence, and you look like a right muppet, don't you?
But this happened at Upton Park, right? This happened at Upton Park because I was in the Bobby Moore stand at Upton Park. This newbie came in. It's his first game. He bought like a half-season ticket. He appears halfway through the season, right? Yeah. All right, mate. Hey, doing blah, 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 right? Game's kicking off. We're losing, right? Because we were shit at the time. He's turned around to all of us again. Get behind the club. Come on, boys. Go on, forever blowing. Yeah, whatever. And he said, oh, fuck off, right? Yeah. And about 5 or 6 games later, he's sitting down with like his head in his hands. And I went down and I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, why aren't you getting behind the team, mate? He said, oh, it's terrible, isn't it? It gets to you after a while.
I tell you something, Dale. That is one thing that kind of really hits a nerve with me when you get fans that you hear them sometimes. And they'll moan and say, fucking hell, we're so shit here. No one sings. You're all crap. Like, no one sings. Atmosphere is pathetic. And I'm thinking, I feel like you're aiming this at me, mate, because I don't stop singing. Like, if I'm away, I would love to sing more at home games. Of course, I would do. I'm not going to be the only one standing there singing like a twat. Do you know what I mean? No. I want. There needs to be a base of people singing around you. You need that.
Yes.
And I just think, fuck off, mate. Go to every game and then come up with that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a different thing, as you say. Away fans, we don't stop. Unless you go to a shitty stadium like Molineux, where you go to a poor away section like Molineux.
That's terrible the way they do that. The way you split you all the way along the length of the ground, isn't it? Horrible.
You can't emanate any kind of generating atmosphere there. You can't, because everyone's out of sync. Do you know what I mean? That's the way it is like over there.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, look, I mean, if it's very simple. Good team on the pitch, of functional players who can play in a system and operate as a team, a manager who can understand tactics and knows how to attack, gives us a little bit of excitement, feeds the atmosphere. Ground's loud, because it's very loud when it gets going in there, very loud. But it just doesn't get going very often, right? And then that's it. That is the secret formula. The secret formula, who would have thought? It's not Peppa Pig Chris. It's not Chris at half time coming on, whatever his name is, playing silly games. right? It's not playing bubbles twice before the kickoff either. I wish they'd stop that. I want it once, like it used to be, just once. The second one's ruined. Ruins it.
Yeah, I'm always turning up for games late these days, so I only really hear it at once. I literally get there pretty much bang on kickoff, but I know what you mean. I think just the once it makes it a bit more special and unique. Just play it the once, get the fans up, not twice. I totally get that. Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah. The second one's always an effort, isn't it? It's always an effort. The first one, you're welcome, right? Because you need the first one. Yeah. Or maybe knock out the first one, just do the second one. But I like to do it when the players are coming out, so they don't fire off the bubble machines, and then they like to do it for the TV, so that the fans are still singing when the game kicks off. I don't know.
I think West Ham struggle. I think West Ham struggle in terms of, obviously we struggle in terms of trying to generate an atmosphere. We struggle in terms of entertainment on the pitch. So we try and bring in other things like the fucking Peppa Pig bollocks, whatever it was. They even had they've done it for a while, but the one that wound me up actually was when they brought the £1 fish man over. Do you remember him? The £1 fish guy. What the fuck? Like seriously, he was down Green Street flogging off these 6 or £5, £1 each bollocks, right? Fish, yes. Yeah. But he did it at Upton Park for I think one of the final games from recollection. And he also came back a couple of seasons ago. I'm like, why the fuck is the £1 fish geezer here? It's embarrassing, really, isn't it, when you think about it?
Absolutely. I'm getting Mrs. Katrina Chambers. We call her Cat from now on. I'll never boo my own players, but happy to sell Mavs for 10p. Too much, isn't it? Get 2 Mavs for 10p. Tell you what, 16 to 20 million quid he's going for. I've got 50 quid on with Chris.
God, yeah.
It's happening. He's coming home.
Excluding add-ons, remember. And let's not get it right.
Another member of the Gary community, Gazza80, says, it's not stupid, Gary. It's absolute disgrace being our own players. Fucking right it is too.
I'll boost someone if they're coming off and they've had a shocker.
Yeah,
if they've been subbed, I'm like, fuck off, mate, get off. Yeah,
that's fine. You can't impact the game anymore. You can't impact the player. But all players are different. They're different psychologies. Some of them are rock hard, steely. I don't think booing Fullkrug, for instance, will bother him, right? But booing someone like, I don't know, Skulls, that would bother him. That would bother him. So different players, you just can't do it. People are thick. They've never played a sport before, so they don't know what it's like to be playing a sport and have someone cutting you off while you're doing it, right?
Well, as you know, my missus was with me yesterday, right, with Lily. And Amanda, she doesn't go to many games. She goes to the odd one, maybe 1 or 2 a season, if that. Yeah. But it always makes her laugh. And she said to me after the game, because she was laughing at periods of the game. I said, what are you laughing at? She goes, that makes me laugh. You got fans, fans of West Ham, and they're just constantly, as you say, like cunting off players. You're fucking shit. You're effing shit. She's like, I'd like to see them get on the pitch. I said, to be fair, they do it to get on the pitch. Yeah. But it's a valid point, because what does that actually do to players' mentality? When you're constantly being told that you're shit from the sidelines, that's going to affect you. They're only human beings at the end of the day. So that I never really understand. Don't get me wrong. I do get angry at players and I do shout out certain things. Of course I do, but not to the point where I really want them to hear it's, oh, you're absolutely dog shit. I won't do that, because I want them to, I don't want there to be an excuse. I want them to go out there and play the best that they possibly can do without being distracted by players booing them whilst they're on the pitch. That I don't agree with.
I agree. Razor says, I really think Harry Boy is just looking. We should call him Harry, shouldn't we? Let's call him Harry from now on. I know it's a bit corny, the Harry Potter thing, but Harry, it feels better, doesn't it? Harry is just looking at all our players, giving them a chance. When he gets his players in the summer, added to Kilman, to Debo, Wan-Bissaka, Bowen, Jimmy Atto. I mean, look, that is the difference. We are lacking pace, and I think it would have been such a different start for Potter had he been able to kept on with that game with a team he started at Villa and not had so many injuries. I mean, Somerville, it just like cracked the code with Somerville in the first fucking half hour, wasn't it? I mean, of his reign.
I mean, we were at that game, and I think we were buzzing, weren't we, after that first half? I thought, Jesus Christ! I mean, what a reaction he's got here. Going from Lopetegui style of football to that, it was like brilliant. And then the 2 injuries. I mean, what a crap start, bad luck that is for a new gaffer coming in. But you're right. I think Somerville, I like him. He started to really come good, didn't he? And then bang, injured. Typical West Ham.
Mouse was in for short term, but worries me. Always ready for a big mistake. What do you mean was in for short term? Do you mean he was brought in as a short term? No, he's on a long contract.
Maybe he's referring to the fact that he came in for a short spell in that game yesterday, perhaps. I'd say the same thing.
Sid walked away 8 years ago from home games. Look, I've just not been able to do it. I haven't got the heart. He's still West Ham after all, and I always said I'd take the rough with the smooth, and even though it's very difficult to do that at the moment, so I appreciate when people cannot do it because I just about do it myself.
Do you know my mentality behind this, Gal, is I always had the idea of what if? I don't want to look back in hindsight and think, no, there's that part of me as well. So I live with hope every single season to think, you know what, I want improvement all the time. So that will never go. It doesn't matter if we get relegated, and again, get relegated 2 seasons on the spin, whatever, I will still go because I know that I just don't want to ever look back with regret. I don't like that. And I love West Ham. It's in my family. It's fucking my whole family of West Ham, so I could never, and that's not digging at anyone else. It's just my own thing, I do understand it. Of course, I get it. There's been times when I'm like, why am I renewing? Am I stupid or something? It's a definition of insanity to keep doing something you not dislike, but not really enjoying. Yeah, but I can't help it. I'm like a.
It's the thing, though, Chris. That's the thing, though. I can go from hating it like I did in the first half to absolutely loving it in the second half.
It's a bit of football, mate. That's
I really enjoyed. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed. That's the most I've enjoyed a home game since Fulham.
Yeah, I mean, slim pickings, isn't it, this season?
Yeah.
But second half, I was happy with that. I must admit, I was very happy with that. And shame we couldn't get the win, really, wasn't it? It was a real shame we didn't get the win.
Goes at 80. Anybody know what the renewals percentage is? Apparently, it's very low. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Bonding time with his son, his cat, with her son rather. Sorry, now I've called you cat. I'm just the missus bit has gone out the window. You know what I mean?
I know you've now turned into a bloke. Yeah.
I'm sorry. So Kent has. I've renewed. Don't really like the home games me either, but I go. Don't want to give up my home season seat neither. Me, obviously, I lose my way prior. And it took me 25 years to build it up. Yeah, so yeah, it's a difficult one. You're between a rock and a hard spot. Our place, Ken, it's exactly what Chris is saying. One season away, everything you built up has just gone, isn't it? Right, including the seats that you probably like that it might have come about after about 2 or 3 moves or something like that. Right, you get somewhere you finally quite like, and the people around you quite like. Weird.
Yeah, it's weird. True. It is true, but no, I'm like many people that have renewed. We just do it because I don't even know the reasons.
I've never been one to do a one-man protest. You know what I mean? I've never been, not if it's going to just hurt me, because it will just hurt me if I can't go to football. I love going to football. I just don't like what it's like when I get there. That's all.
Well, I just see from Sid in the comments, he's put down he walked away because of Sullivan, mate. I totally respect him.
Yeah, totally. I'm not having to go at anyone that does walk away, honestly. I completely understand the mindset of walking away because it goes through my mind all the time. I'm just saying I'm not ready to do it yet, that's all.
Roger's having a dig at you now.
Did Bodger meet Marco Booger? Oh, right, okay, we're fucking miles back, aren't we?
I don't know where you are, mate. Yeah, I'm right down the bottom. This is the latest comment.
Yeah,
you look fatter on screen, Gary.
Fuck off, Bodger.
Kick him out your caravan. Kick him out your caravan.
Yeah. That's it. No gas bottle for you, Bodger. That's one downside.
Maybe a leaking gas bottle.
Yeah. Both gas bottles are empty. Yeah. Sorry to it, I think. Right. Bodger was in a seat. What? This Razor. Bodger was in C run and used to be asked by H when playing. I don't know. It's a code to me. Can you interpret that code, Chris?
No, I can't. I'm not down with it.
Quite heavily encrypted, isn't it? It's quite heavily encrypted.
Yeah, I'm really bad with all of these. I don't know if that's like an acronym type thing. When you get all these things that mean certain things. I'm crap. I already am.
He is, Bodger, obsessed with Peppa Pig Football Club. I think if you've got any Peppa Pig memorabilia, I think you need to send it in for Chris. You know what I mean?
I'll get some. I need to actually update my memorabilia behind me because I told you I want to get rid of Caduce. I might just get a Peppa Pig shirt behind me instead. But I need to refresh some of this gear that I've got behind.
I'm forever eating bacon. Peppa Pig. But yeah, Obsidian says it's not just sport though. How'd they feel if they were booed every time they walked? So exactly that, right? Exactly that. But yeah. I don't know what's happened with my comments here, but I think I'm kind of.
Yeah, I'm right down the bottom, right? I like this one. Okay,
I'm not seeing
this one out. This is like a show. This one. This is like a show. Got to go for you, Gary and Chris. What would your West Ham team be if you can use players from any era for your team. Christ almighty, that's a great question, but that's probably quite
from any era. My God, that is so tough. You know, it's so tough.
1 to 11 here, 1 to 11.
I've got so many kind of loyalties to the old team, right? I've got, you know, because Parks would have to be in goal for a start, right? If you go in, you know, who would you have at the back? I mean, you've got to have Alvin Martin in the middle, haven't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I grew up with Alvin Martin as well, and I loved him. You know, I mean, he didn't play, what was it, 512 games for West Ham.
You'd have him instead of Kilman, wouldn't you? You'd have him instead of Kilman.
It'd be a tough choice between him and Mavropanos, but I think I'd err on with with Alvin.
Yeah, Lampard. There was really no better. Left back, right back.
No, mate. No. I'm not having him in. I'm not having him at left back. I'm having Dixie, mate. Dixie over Lampard for me any day of the week.
See what's happening now already. We're classing the current set of players as fucking irrelevant, right? Let's take the best players and let's take Bowen, Paqueta, the good Kudus from last year, right? Would they get in the team?
See, I don't think they would. When you look at some of the, put it this way, when you've got players like Devonshire, Brooking, players like that, right?
It's a tough one between Mark Ward and Bowen, right? Mark Ward and Bowen.
Well, yeah, although Bowen's obviously...
He's a superior player.
Of course he is, and he's done a hell of a lot more for West Ham. I mean, I remember Mark Ward as a kid, and I thought he was an exceptional player, but he obviously moved on, didn't he? But I think... It's interesting because, maybe you'd almost want to rephrase that question and say how many of those players that are in our team at the moment would get back into some of the better teams of years gone by. And the truth is probably not that many, in my opinion. I don't think there are. Before
we go there, because there's some fun responses. You know, this is Steve Tardy. Do you lads agree Kilman and Tadibo must have would have ball at feet? But they're both well suspects in the air. Yes. And we knew that about Tadibo being suspect in the air when he came here. They're both supremely talented on the floor. Absolutely.
Well, I'm not going to... Right, Tadibo, Kilman, I'm not going to say he's supremely talented on the floor. I know he's
supremely.
That's too much, mate. I can't say supremely talented on the floor.
You're just going to go talented then.
He's decent, mate. He's decent. He can be decent.
Not even talented.
He's decent. He's decent on the deck. That's it.
So let's go down here. Let's go to some of these little responses. Right. How old was your little uns when you first took them to a game? Yeah, there's a good one. I think, how old were your little uns when you took them to a game? I think depends on the kid, right? I mean, Ross still comes with me. He's 30 or 31, nearly 30. Yeah, 31 this year, actually. But I used to take them, Ross and Reese, when they were probably 8, 9 and 10, something like that. And I think I took, Adam came along when he was about 5. And I'm pretty sure I went to a friendly where Lily was about 3 or 4. Yeah.
I think for me, Fred's first game, so it would have been in, I think it was around about 20, he must have been about 5 or 6. I think he was 5, 6. It was against QPR one, beat 2-0 or 2-1 Upton Park. I think Sacco and goal from recollection. That was his first game. But I think he got just slowly obsessed with it ever since. Yeah.
Anyway, look, let's move on. Don's going back in time. He wants Vic Watson up front. Not even Jeff Hurst. He's going Vic Watson up front. Ray Stewart. Yes, he put Kevin Keegan in the chicken run. Bloody where he belongs. Let's put it right. But I bet he weren't happy about that.
You've got to play Ray Stewart now. Ray Stewart would go in your first 11, and they surely.
Well, and for penalties, obviously. But then you'd have him and Dixie in the same team fighting over the ball, and Di Canio. All 3 of them fighting over the ball.
Yeah, they would be enough.
Right, okay. Alvin Martin and Bobby Moore. I think they'd definitely be in my team. I mean, there's too many good players. This current crop, they've got no chance of getting into it. But he scored the winning goal in a cup final, Jared, and he's committed to West Ham, and he's shagging West Ham royalty. Right, I would say that he's got to get a place in that side, even if he's on the bench, right?
No, she's shagging West Ham royalty. He's not shagging West Ham royalty. I'm not having Danny Dyer as West Ham royalty. Like,
no, he is royalty, Danny.
Danny the actor. Yeah, I like Danny Dyer, but I'm not saying that she's not West Ham royalty. But here's the other question though. Like when you look at some of those players we're talking about, like Bonzo, like Devonshire, all those players, how much money would they be worth in today's market? Christ almighty, in comparison to when you look at some of the prices of these players nowadays. It's mad, isn't it, to think that?
Well, it's a show for another day, but I mean, it would be a ridiculous amount of money if you look at what they all did on those muddy pitches, be it whilst being hacked and attempted murder going on all around them with the defenders the way they played, literally career-ending challenges, right? They had to learn how to vault those challenges, didn't they? Like, do you remember Georgie Best fucking, literally waist-high challenges, and he's vaulted them. And the same with Alan Devonshire.
Or, mate, they would just get on with it. They would just get on with it. They wouldn't be rolling around like do you know what I mean? They wouldn't be rolling around like what our players do, like Paqueta does. They just get on with it. They would.
Well, yeah. What they used to do is take a name, wasn't it? They used to, someone had a little kick. They didn't want to show they were hurt. That's why Billy Bonds played with his socks rolled down, didn't he? And no shin pads,
isn't it?
Right. It never whinge. Just take it and then get a little bit of get a little bit of revenge. Get a little bit of revenge. 5 minutes. No, probably 1 or 2 minutes later.
Mate, I watched the highlights reel not that long ago of Dixie. Some of the hard nuts of back in the day, like Vinnie Jones as well. And there's a Vinnie Jones reel where he's taking out Eric Cantona. Cantona goes absolutely flying in the air, and he just gets straight up, gets on with it. If that happened nowadays, well, it'd be on the floor for an hour. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, it'd be on the front page of the paper. It'd be attempted murder, right?
Yeah,
it'd be a 25-game ban for a tackle like that, right? You remember that Wimbledon game where they beat Liverpool in the FA Cup final, and before that game, the Wimbledon team had not washed for a week. Apparently, they stunk.
No, I heard that story.
Yeah. So, and then they went and smashed in. I mean, you see that Vinnie Jones on McMahon, was it early on?
Oh, man, some of his challenges were so bad.
But literally, as the whistle went, I think it was a McMahon. He just fucking took him out. But McMahon was a hard nut anyway, so didn't care. He just took it, right? Devo and Trev, that is the dream midfield. That is the dream midfield, without a shadow of doubt. What's this? Can I just make a mention of one of my local non-league clubs, Whitstable Town? They've just got into the FA Vars. It's a massive achievement. Well done, Whitstable Town.
Well done, Whitstable. Yeah, do you know what? Proper football down in those lower leagues. Seriously, sometimes I get more enjoyment watching that.
Anton Alchulikowski is the one on the team photo where people were saying, "Who's that?" You don't remember him, do you, Chris?
I don't know what you're talking about. If I'm being honest,
Anton Alchulikowski. He was a fucking. He was in a team photo of like the 1978, 79, something like that. He was down in one of the corners. No one knew who he was, but I do.
No, I don't know that. I don't know. Yeah. And I'm happy that I don't, in a way, because
why? It's knowledge, Chris. It's West Ham.
No, it's because it means I'm not as old as you, so I'll go with it.
So you're going about Peppa Pig. You're obsessed with Peppa Pig, but not with West Ham history. That's you. Bonds, Brooking, and Padden, great midfield. Yes. But he wouldn't go into Padden. Wouldn't go into my all-time 11. It'd take me weeks to work out my all-time 11. I think I'd need the biggest bench known to man.
It's so hard. Well, I mean, there's certain players that are guaranteed, right? Certain players are guaranteed, but it's a tough choice between certain players in certain positions. Because it's like, gosh,
I was so gutted, right? I was so gutted. I once went to Ray Stewart. You know the way he used to belt the penalties, right? He's fucking supreme penalty taker. I went to one of those five-a-side competitions. It was over Docklands when they had an arena, the Docklands Arena, London Arena, whatever it was called, right? It was one of those 5-6-a-side games, and West Ham playing. It was London sides only, and it came down to penalties. And Ray Stewart stepped up and took a penalty. And I said to her, I was with, watch this, gonna belt it. Fucking side-footed it and missed it.
No way, really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
He's probably worried about the fans behind it, because they're small little arenas, aren't they? I know what you're talking about. So maybe that's what it was. You weren't going to go and blast it, I don't think.
Well, look, of course, Alex, because this is a Bobby Moore stand, Bobby Moore would have to be in there, wouldn't he? And he would.
First name on the team sheet.
Yeah.
Would you have Parksy then over Ludo?
Yeah. Parksy young Parksy, not old Parksy. Because Ludo was much better than old Parksy, without a shadow of a doubt. He was a great keeper, Ludo. But I've got to give the best keeper ever to the young Phil Parks. Not that he was ever young. He always looked like a middle-aged bloke with a moustache and the massive hands, didn't he?
Do you know what? Just a little story on Phil Parks, right? So when I was a kid, he was my hero. He was like the player that I really, really, really kind of rated when I was a kid growing up. You know, when I first started sort of supporting West Ham in the sort of early 80s. Anyway, loved him so much. My sister wrote a letter to Jimmy Savile. My life could have ended sort of.
You had a near miss, Chris.
Mate, could have turned out so differently. He wrote a letter to Jimmy Savile to see if he could fix it for me, that I could go and meet Phil Parks. Thankfully, it never happened. I was devastated at the time, but now I look back on it. Could you imagine? I just don't think I'd be able to live with myself thinking that. Yeah, I met Jimmy Savile, mate. That would have been horrific.
Jim fixed it for me. Badge up in your loft somewhere.
I know. Yeah, he probably would have fixed something else as well, or broken something else. I don't know. But yeah, Christ almighty, what a scary thought that is.
Right, we're going to stop in a minute, by the way. I want to finish by 9. So what we got? Has anyone seen the new film Marching Pad? Someone mentioned that to me the other day. It's supposed to be all right, I think.
I want to watch that. Yeah, I want to watch that. Yeah.
Next international break. Indeed, Bodger. If you remind us, we will. If someone reminds us. Danny Dyer, the daughter of the name, is named after the Portuguese player. Oh, that's where it comes from.
Is she really?
I didn't know that. I just thought it was just a modern spelling of Danny, a bit funky.
Yeah, but I mean, in all due respect, Danny, like, what was his name? Danny de Cruz Carvalho. He only played about 8 games for us, didn't he?
Best question of the night. Joe the Hammer. Does Rice get into that 11, Chris?
No.
Too right, he fucking doesn't. No way. He can fuck right off.
Who do you plan instead of Rice then in that type of position?
You have no. I don't care what it is, and that's why Payet is banned as well, because there is a semblance of loyalty and dedication in my 11. So Rice does not tick the box, and neither does Payet. But
no, I'm talking. No, I look at it differently.
Bowen does.
I'm looking at ability alone. Just ability alone.
You can't do that. It's a full package. You can't. This is an important 11, Chris.
I can do that. Wasn't a caveat in the question. I'm just
no. It's just an assumed caveat. You just got. Right. I always thought Tony Cow was unlucky. So
making the rules here. Who made the question? Not you.
Oh, you know. Anyone remember the fight between? Oh, that was hilarious. That was fucking hilarious in the cup final, wasn't it? Was it in the cup final? But anyway, I remember it because Norman Hunter and Franny Lee fucking started swinging at him, didn't he? Started swinging at Norman Hunter. And there was another one as well. Was it Franny Lee and Kevin Keegan at Wembley?
Are you asking me? Because again, this is not my era, guy. You know this, right?
No. I know there was a fight with Kevin Keegan and someone. I can't remember who it was. His perm was flapping in the wind. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, I don't know. What's this? No joke. He went off to win medals. Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck medals. Medals will not... Because you know what happens, right? He goes off to win medals. Even if he wins some, it's just going to be one of many, 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 many players who have won medals at whichever club he ends up at. It won't be Arsenal. And most of the other players, the legends, would have won more than him.
Mate, he's won. I don't think he's going to win anything at Arsenal. I don't.
Hope
the only thing he has won is his stupid charity shield, mate. That's it. So
yeah,
great move that was.
Yeah, really great move. Well, I suppose it's worth saying, isn't it? Personal favourite, Marlene.
I suppose.
Marlene Martin, interior designer.
Marlon.
Yeah. So what we got here now is not one of the best ever. Keith Robson, cult heroes, what he is. Keith Robson, David Cross, Pop Robson, Paul Goddard, proper players. Yes, they were. That's it. 1974 Charity Shield. That's where all that stuff happened. It was hilarious, Chris. Look it up on YouTube. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Literally swinging at each other under the nose of referee, and referees thinking, "Oh, fucking hell, looks a bit dodgy, that."
I'm just looking at some of these. Bodger. What's this one here? Jim, I know, where is it? Jim fixed it for Chris. Chris learned to milk a cow in the dark. Oh dear. But no, it never happened. So
that's it. Yeah. Bremner v Keegan, the fight in the midgets, but it was a vicious fight. Bremner was right on it, wasn't he? He was right on it, I must admit. He had the right up. Yeah, and Kent called it as well. Everyone, I'd say, yeah. Oh, Johnny Giles. Do you have a row with Johnny Giles as well? Was it a bit troublemaker, that Keegan? I don't know what it was. I reckon it's he's got that annoying chin, and he one looks like a bum. Anyway, don't worry. Right. So, where are we? I thought Danny was short for Danielle. See, that is what I thought as well, Don. That is what I thought as well. But Chris has Kent has poo-pooed that idea. Poo-pooed it.
I don't know. Either way.
RIP from a few weeks ago. Ticker boys. Yes. Right, let's call it a day, Chris. Let's call it a night. Let's call it a night and a day.
Indeed. Yeah.
All right. But it was a lovely little chat. But as it stands at the moment, I'm upbeat, right? I'm upbeat. I'm not I'm not downbeat. I will be downbeat after next week. You can guarantee that, right? I mean, it's almost inevitable. We're going to go there and get stuffed. But
don't rule it out. Don't rule it out. Maybe right. Maybe
I've already ruled it out.
Yeah, no, I know. Look, I know. Look, logic will tell you that we're going to get sod all out of that game, right? Of course it will. You look at the history, the record, everything else, right? I get it.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you just believe that, flipping out with the season that we've had, that we could end up going up to Anfield and getting a result? It actually wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, it would not surprise me if we got a point. Wouldn't surprise me.
It would. It would blow my mind if we got a point up there.
I'll be annoyed because I'm 10-2 on aggregate in my last 2 years, and I've been up to Anfield and back in the same day, and it's been long ass drives. I'll be annoyed because I've got the opportunity to go to Liverpool, but I said no. Maybe that's a good thing because my record is awful. It is awful. So
I did think twice about taking you to Man U, but then I thought that record's got to come to an end at some point. It's going to be at Man U, Chris, and it's going to be fun.
I'm looking forward to that. Joining you in the prawn sandwich lounge, mate. I can't wait for that. I'm going to vlog that day as well. I'm definitely going to vlog that day.
You vlog that day, Chris. You do that. You do that.
But I'm definitely going to catch you with a prawn sandwich.
Don't be surprised if the Stratford End try to take your new vlogging camera off you.
They can do what they can't reach us, can they? From the
well, no, they have to jump. Yeah,
it's all right, mate. I'll be cunting them off left, right, and centre in that case.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it. There's a lot of them.
I'm joking. I don't do that. I do have respect. I do have respect.
That's right, Obsidian. The Scassers' bums are squeaking at the moment. They will squeak if we get the first goal. Yes, that's right.
Yes,
that's
right.
They've
seen Fullkrug. They can see what we're about now. Yes.
Yeah. They'll be fearing the German. So they'll have Van Dijk, the other centre half, and probably a midfielder looking after him.
Yeah.
Won't hear a peep out of him. But if they do that, it frees up Bowen and Kudus and everyone else. But anyway, look, let's not get into another conversation. One little positive comment from Chris. Yes, love your vlogs, Chris.
Thank you.
You know what? He should have done one the other day. He should have done one the other day, Kat.
I did do one the other day.
No, you copped out at half time, didn't you? Because we were losing.
I had enough footage. to release one, but I got home at like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, wherever it was, and I just thought, sod it. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
By the way,
I've got a cool camera actually now, so it's not just for this, but it's really good actually. I love it. Really, really good.
Can I just say you haven't given me credit for predicting the score yet, the result yesterday? I predicted a draw, didn't I?
I told you before, right? Anyone can either say one if you've got a 1 in 3 chance. No, you've got a 1 in 3 chance, Gary. You can either say win, draw, loss, right?
No.
You've got to be specific with your predictions.
Another accurate prediction, Chris.
It's not accurate, mate. It's not
another accurate prediction.
No, you're talking nonsense, mate. Absolute bollocks. You can't have that.
I've got so many right this year. It's embarrassing, you know.
You've got none right. You've got no score predictions, no specific score predictions right.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, you got one. You got one.
Loads. No, I got about 6, maybe 7.
In your mind, mate.
Yeah.
I think that the chat.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back through his fucking videos. I'm going to find out what
every one of them. Yeah. Every one this season.
Every one of them.
If you do that, you'll just want to flip and hang yourself. I'll tell you that because every one of our videos have been talking about shit performances.
I know. We predict the team. You got fucking Lopetegui, man. Predict the team. We got Potter managing. Unpredictable team, right? Cannot predict it. And then the results is anyone's guess, isn't it?
It's very true.
Anyway, let's leave it there. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thanks for all your comments in the chat. It's good to have, a little bit of an update. Not also happy, but upbeat. Sorry. The sun's been out. We've seen a little bit of decent football. Everything's good with the world again. Until next week.
Yeah, just quickly, Kent. I didn't get stuck in traffic. I didn't at all. Actually, I was lucky. I got stuck in a car park, but I didn't get stuck in traffic.
He made a video out of it. That's how bad it was.
That's how bored it was.
Anyway, Kat predicted that Fullkrug and Bowen would score. Did you do that in here in a public place, Kat? Did everybody see it? Are witnesses?
I'm going to go with Kat. She's got a better prediction record than you have.
Whatever.
Mate, so, whatever. There you go.
Anyway, thank you all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments. And thank you, Bodger, for modding. And I hope you get gas soon. And thank you,
Chris. Enjoy the caravan. Enjoy the caravan.
See you soon. Kim and yours.
See you later.